Hello and welcome to Bronco Nation Live. I'm Jordan Parker, and for tonight, we are here together for the very first time, so you all at home don't have to see us in little tiny boxes separated from each other. And we are not just anywhere, we are here at Bronco Off-Rodeo in New Hampshire. It's so great to have the whole Bronco Nation team with me. Well, part of it at least. We have Matt, Laura, and David, and we have a lot to get to tonight. We're going to be talking about the Bronco Raptor media drive that I just attended. We're going to be talking about Bronco Basecamp in Redmond, Oregon, that is coming up for Overland Expo Pacific Northwest. We're going to talk about the F-150 Lightning and some upcoming content we have with that. And then we're going to be going to, well, I don't know if it's our favorite part, but it is our favorite part, and your guys' favorite part, the audience Q&A as well. So to get us kicked off, I'm going to turn it over to Matt to tell you guys a little bit about why we're here at Off-Rodeo and what you can expect if you have not been to Off-Rodeo. So Matt, how are you doing, and where are we?
Doing well. Thank you, Jordan. We are here at Off-Rodeo in New Hampshire, so one of the 4 Off-Rodeo locations. Many of you may know what Off-Rodeo is, but if you don't, if you've ordered a Bronco, then you get essentially a free pass to go to Off-Rodeo. And it's like an off-road playground, driving school. You learn how to use all the features of your vehicle. You spend all day out on the trails, learning all the different features, eating good food, meeting good people. And it's essentially the whole experience of showing you that off-roading is not something to be afraid of, but something that you can do. And believe me, before I came to Off-Rodeo, I was not an off-roader. I drive a Mustang. And so coming to Off-Rodeo and experiencing that, I feel a lot more confident now, just in general. And I don't know, more comfortable with the vehicle, more comfortable on the trails. But yeah, so there's 4 different Off-Rodeo locations. We've got New Hampshire, where we're at right now. You may be able to see it in the window there. But we've also got Texas, we've got Nevada, and then we've got Moab, Utah. So each of those are very unique. I think they're very different terrain. Obviously, New Hampshire is lots of trees, some mountains, a lot of granite rocks, and it's actually very technical. You wouldn't think it is, but it's some pretty intense trails. And then Moab and Vegas are a lot drier environments, more of what you would think of when you're out west. And then Texas is sort of a mix of both. You've got trees, creeks, and I don't know, it's a good mix. So personally, I like Texas, but I don't know. If you've been audience, then you might have your own choice. But I don't know, do we want to kick it around and each talk about our favorite location?
Yeah, let's start with David.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm an East Coast kid. I'm from North Carolina, so and I lived in Texas for part of my life as well. So those don't hit me the same as like Moab or Nevada does, but to me it's hard to beat Moab. Moab is Moab, and if you haven't been, it's my favorite one to recommend to folks.
Mm-hmm. Laura?
I like Texas. Being from Michigan, I feel like this terrain we're obviously flatter, but with the woods and the forest access trails and things like that, I feel like this is very similar. And I know a lot of people debate, should I go to something where I will be using the vehicle in terrain that I would do back home, or should I do something completely opposite of what I would be used to? And, that's for you to decide. But Texas is great. And I think no matter what, the trail guides are amazing at all of them, and the people are really what make the experience so extremely wonderful. And you leave with contact information of other people to off-road with, and just good people, like Matt said, friends in the industry. So Texas is one of my favorite, but I love the people at all of them.
Mm-hmm. And if you guys, we are at an off-roading location, if we haven't already said that, so if you hear background noise, it's because they're still doing the program today. You can probably see people having s'mores out behind us. But my favorite location is also, I agree with Laura, is Texas. The site and the facilities are beautiful. The property is fantastic. And it's run by my personal favorites, Mike and Amy Clouds, who are just above and beyond, not only people, but trail guides. And they really make the experience phenomenal. Speaking of that, I saw some chatter of women's off-rodeo in the comment section. Laura will be going to the ladies off-rodeo in July, and so will London, who is our newest member of the Bronco Nation team. So they will be down there. So if you're a lady and heading to ladies off-rodeo in July, make sure to say hi to them. And if you're a Bronco Sport Badlands owner, you can also go to off-rodeo. They have programs in Texas and a new program in Moab that I got to do a few weeks ago, and the team has done an incredible job of putting that together. So if you're a Bronco Sport Badlands owner, don't feel left out. You can do it too, and I would highly suggest booking one of those experiences because I know Moab is booking up very quickly. But with that being said, any other final comments?
I think another thing to note is for those of you that may have already been to an off-rodeo, or maybe you don't have a Bronco, there may be options in the future to go to off-rodeo, go to additional locations. So that may be something, we'll see. So keep your eyes out for that. And I mean, with the Raptor, is that going to be a possibility? I don't know.
Who knows? The world can speculate.
Okay.
But you just got to stay tuned. And, us at Bronco Nation will probably break the news first anyway. So, you'll just have to stay tuned. But that being said, yes, make sure to check out Bronco Off Radio. You can go to www.broncooffroadio.com to find out more information and to sign up to reserve your dates and come attend one of these fantastic experiences. And with that being said, we are going to toss it over to Laura to talk a little bit about what's been going on in the Bronco world with some Bronco tech information and also Basecamp in the Pacific Northwest. So Laura, what do you have for us?
So probably for a lot of you, not enough has been going on. Obviously, we're still in the midst of the chip shortage, and a lot of you guys are waiting on information from your Broncos from Ford, and we do not have information on where your Broncos are at. We are obviously not Ford, but we do sympathize with you on that, and we do hope, obviously, all of you get your Broncos quickly. But if you are looking for production updates, at this time, we don't have any to share with you, but we do have updates on some of the technology that's going to be coming on the MY 22.5 Broncos, especially the Wild Track. We dropped the Haas 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, and 4.0 comparisons and explanations for the suspension on the Broncos. So everything from the base series up to the Raptor. So that's on the Bronco Nation. You can check that one out. We go over some basics on suspension and why these items matter on your vehicle. And then, of course, stay tuned for more on this. We have an article coming next week on tie rods, which I know you guys all hotly contested point in the community. Is it the tie rod's fault? Is it the driver's fault?
First
Who
person
knows?
to go sign up in the Bronco Nation forums and make your name Tie Rod might win a prize.
They might.
TY space ROD.
Yeah, they actually probably won't. That won't be one of our contests, but we do have we do have other contests that we're working on. Things that you guys all enjoy participating in, photo contests and things like that. So always check out the website, check out the forums. Yeah, if you don't have a forum account, make sure you make one because that's where you get to hear the hot gossip and
Where the conversation happens.
yeah, speculations and rumors and things that we don't comment on, but people in the industry do. So check that one out. And then other news, rear sway bar. That one's been out since January. It was silent change. We put the article out officially about a week ago. And you might want to check that out if you don't really understand why they did that or what a sway bar does, or just we break it down really easy and let you guys know. That's going to be on the four-door Sasquatch package. That's on 22 Broncos. And then also in the Haas article, you'll see that the Wild Track Haas 3.0 two-door gets it as well. So that'll be the only one with a two-door that has a rear sway bar. And then other stuff on the website that you might find interesting is the events page and the calendar. So if you're looking for people to off-road with, if you want people to go get coffee with and just check out your Broncos in the parking lot, you can head over to the calendar, and that will give you daily and weekly and whenever people are making events, and we're putting ones up there. And you can just click the RSVP button, those to attend them. And then if you go to the main calendar page, you'll also see little things like Bronco Nation attending. And two of the ones that we're coming up on are Super Celebration Wisconsin, which is obviously in Wisconsin. It's the first year of that. And you're going on Bronco rides, you're going on duck boat rides, so a lot of rides at Supercell Wisconsin. We haven't been to it yet, it's being the first year, so it'll be fun for all you guys to experience it brand new with us. And then almost concurrently, we'll be over at Overland
Expo Pacific Northwest.
yes, July 8th through 10th, and so we'll be splitting the team up, and you can find some of us on one side
All
of the country.
four of us on camera at Basecamp.
Yes,
I'll be
and
there.
you can find the rest of us over there. And then there's a few floaters just at home. But we're doing a base camp, and this will be our third base camp. We did one at King of the Hammers in January, which a lot of you guys attended, and that was so much fun together. We did one in Moab for Moab 4x4 Safari, and this will be our third, and we're really excited to having you guys come out. Gives you a place to stay, camping with the group. You get full access to the show, so products and a ton of training, ton of classes, really interesting stuff. If you're looking to get into that space and want to know more about it, what to do and products to get and people to do stuff with. And then we also have our own excursion. So I'm going to turn that over to David. He and Jordan just did a pre-run out to Oregon, and they decided what we're doing, and they'll tell you about it.
And one thing to note, we've got a lot of questions because we haven't charged for Basecamp previously. So at King of Hammers and in Moab, you didn't have to pay a sum of money to attend. Now for Moab, you did have a refundable deposit. People will be like, hey, why are you charging for Basecamp this time? That's not us charging. We don't get that money. That goes to Overland Expo. So you have to buy a camping pass if you're traditionally going there to camp, as well as a pass into the show. So we're just lumping that all together. And basically when you're signing up to be a part of the Bronco Nation group, which gets you access to camping on site, which gets you access to the show. But then we're adding all these additional perks that David's going to talk about. So I'm sure it's a little bit confusing, and we understand the frustration, but that is out of our control. But nonetheless, we're going to make it a phenomenal experience. If you've been to the other two, you know how the wind conditions and the weather conditions have been interesting. So we're hoping and praying that the weather conditions here are a little bit more chill. I will say the ground is a little bit more hospitable and comfortable, and there's cell reception.
And
so
grass.
that'll be and grass. Those will be
trees.
welcome changes from the past two base camps. So. But that's enough. I'll let you talk about the trail rides, David.
So much dust.
So much dust. We're
We're
still getting
we're
dust out
still
of our
finding
boat.
dust.
Too, but this one's going to be a lot more comfortable. Yeah. So
Knock
one
on
of the big
wood.
things that we want to do, one of the big things that we want to do with Bronco Basecamp is like give Bronco Nation members and people within the Bronco Nation community great experiences.
Yep.
In great places. So like we said, Jordan and I went out to Oregon a couple weeks ago now and scouted the area, checked out a few different things that we thought would be really cool to do, and narrowed it down to 2 offsite excursions.
Yep.
But then before I get into those, I'd want to talk about the kind of third excursion, which is the show itself.
Yeah.
And if you've never been to an Overland Expo and you're a person that likes off-roading and you like camping gear, quality camping gear, and those sorts of
High
things, like
quality camping gear.
Overland Expo is the place for you. Like, it is one of the best arrays of vendors that I've ever seen in this particular kind of market and space. And they tend to have inventory on site. So a lot of things that are really hard to get because they'll be back ordered if you're trying to get them online, they'll have inventory of them at the show.
And sometimes even at a better price.
Yeah, and tons of great stuff to do during the show. At night they have things that you can do. So
Lots of parties at these expos.
it's a great time. It's a really cool event. So that in and of itself is something of an excursion. Now, the offsite excursions that we have, the first one we can talk about is the off-roading excursion. So Klein Buttes OHV Park is about
Whoever
10,
started
15
tie rod on the Instagram or on the forums, you win. Good job.
There you go. Get that man some stickers.
Yeah.
Or woman.
Exactly. So we're going out to Klein Buttes OHV Park. That is about 10 to 15 minutes away from where we're going to be at the base camp. And it has a little bit of everything. It has sand that you can plan, trails that go from easy to fairly difficult. I wouldn't say any of them are going to defeat a Bronco, but they have some really cool ones there that'll get your
defeated a
blood moving
4Runner.
at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they have play areas. So they have these areas that are kind of free roam that do have some heavy duty rock crawling that you can do, have a lot of great challenges if you want to go out and put your Bronco through its paces. So that's Klein Buttes. No extra pay for going on that excursion. If you are not going to the show and you do want to meet up with us, we have some information on the site on how you can do that.
Yes.
Because we'll be meeting with folks outside the expo center before heading to Klein Buttes. And then
Is that Bronco sport friendly?
there are trails that would be fine for Bronco Sport.
Okay.
We took a we took a stock 4Runner that we had to rent through.
Granted, it was a
and
rental, which is the most capable vehicle in the market. It's a rental car,
on street
so.
tires, so it's got to be super easy for a sport. And so it's a great spot.
Yeah.
They had, and it's
beautiful,
really well
too.
signposted. There were the brochures and maps right at the front. All the things that you look for an OHV park. I think they did really well.
Mm-hmm.
The second excursion that we have is what we're calling the Sisters High Country Tour. So this event is happening near part of the Cascades Range, the Lower Cascades Range, and the Three Sisters, North, Middle, and South,
They're
are
mountains,
in
by
the
the way.
area.
They're not actual.
Yeah.
The legend of the sisters. They're
Yes.
mountains.
Not as exciting.
Two extinct volcanoes and one that could possibly
We may see it on this
have
expedition.
something
You'll
happen
just have to join us.
in the next 100,000 years or something like that. So what we're going to do with that one is we're going to a couple different sites in the Sisters High Country. So we're going to start by going up to McKenzie Pass, which is a scenic area. It's a pass, so you go up to the top. It's in a lava rock field that looks really cool. We're going to stop at a site there called what was it? Something Observatory.
Yep.
It's on the website. Check it out. But we're going to go up there, and then we're going to come back down the pass, and we're going to head into the Deschutes National Forest. And there's several things that we're going to do there. We're going to do a scenic drive around Round Lake.
Which is off-road.
Yep, that'll happen off-road. It's not going to be too intense. It's going to still be sport-friendly. And stock Bronco, if you're in one of the like Outer Banks, it's stock, or Big Bend or something like that. We're going to do that, and then we're going to head out to Camp Sherman, which is a really cool little tiny village
Settlement.
kind of out in the middle of it has an awesome camp store. Like,
Yeah,
I was
like
really
oddly
impressed
high
with
end.
it.
You could get like truffle mayonnaise and truffle oil. And
I
all
kept
sorts
walking
of
through it and
fancy
being
stuff.
like,
Mayonnaise.
if I wanted to find the perfect camp store, it would have this item in it. And
Yeah.
there's that item right there. So we're going to go check that out. And then it might sound weird to some, but really cool to others. There's a fish hatchery that wasn't too far away from there that we're going to be able to visit as well. And I saw Jordan get really excited about rainbow salmon.
Rainbow trout. I knew
Rainbow
you were
trout,
gonna go there.
rainbow trout, rainbow
guys.
salmon.
I'd never been to a fish
everyone is.
hatchery before, and when I was up in the PNW, I was like, I want to see salmon or trout or something. And lo and behold, there's just.
But it's a
Ponds full
nice
of trout.
park with informational signage, all that sort of stuff.
It was really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I was surprised
Really
with
pretty.
right beside, obviously, a gorgeous river, the Melitonius River.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
in
one.
the Deschutes National Forest. It was hard to say. And then we're going to come back down to Sisters, Oregon,
Yeah.
which is a great mountain town.
Great coffee shops,
Awesome coffee shops, playgrounds for kids if you're bringing them,
bakeries, restaurants.
bakeries. It was just, and we're going to kind of end there and let people kind of go on their own adventure from that point.
Did you guys feed the fish together?
We did not. No, you had to have quarters, and I don't carry cash, so I couldn't twist the little machine to feed the fish. But
Okay.
I got plenty of pictures and kind of just zoned out. I'm not a fish person. Well, I love eating fish, but like I'm not a
Not a fishing person.
fishing fisherman.
A fish fan.
If you're a fly fisher, this is your perfect expedition.
Yeah.
But no, this is my first time to Redmond Bend, that area, and it blew my expectations away. It probably will be my favorite base camp just because there's cell reception, if you know, you know. And there's coffee within close proximity. Lots of great restaurants, breweries, things to do, kayaking, biking. So if you're like, hey, King of Hammers isn't my vibe, hey, Moab and off-roading isn't my vibe, I just want to come hang out with some Bronco people and do a wide range of activities, this would be the perfect one for you. There's farmers markets, like I said, there's kayaking, there's fly fishing, hiking, so you can really make this adventure your own. But as David said, we're going to have these two awesome expeditions for you guys, and you don't have to be attending base camp to do them. So if you're like, hey, that's not my vibe, but I want to come do these expeditions with you, we do have information where we'll meet you off site out of the expo where we can all stage and then head off from there. So just because you're not going to base camp, don't feel like you can't come and hang out with us. We'd love to have you on one or both of these expeditions. We are doing both of them both days. So you can do one Saturday, one Sunday, flip-flop them, do them twice if you'd like, because the OHV park is really, really cool. And I'm sure if you went 2 days, you wouldn't see the same thing twice.
Yeah, you do.
So, and again, they're both sport friendly. You're probably going to want a Badlands if you do the OHV park. The other ones could do it, but if you want to do some of the more technical stuff, you want a Badlands. But the Sisters High Country Tour is friendly for Broncos and Bronco sports of all shapes and sizes. So
Awesome.
that is that. Cool. So we're super excited. Again, go to the website to find out more. And next, we're going to move into the Bronco Raptor Media Drive, which I had the good fortune of attending. So thank you all for letting me go.
Hey, Jordan, what's a Bronco Raptor like?
A Bronco
drive?
Raptor
Tell
like
us.
to drive. Yeah, well, if you haven't, you can go watch our video on YouTube. No, it was a blast. I know there's been a lot of talk about the Bronco Raptor, a lot of controversy. People are really big fans of the fender flares, and let me just tell you, they get better the more you look at them. But once you get inside, you can't really see them. You can kind of see them sticking out like Dumbo ears a little bit. But no, that was one of the funnest vehicles I've driven. There is no more capable vehicle on the market right now, especially one that you can buy straight off the factory line, off the showroom floor. 37s, Haas suspension, the Fox live valve technology shocks. It's got almost a foot wider track width than the regular Bronco. It's got a full digital gauge cluster, carbon fiber, Alcantara, beefed up tie rods, upper and lower control arms, bracing, the whole thing. I mean, Ford really sent it.
How would you compare it
Excuse
to an
me,
F-150 Raptor?
They're similar yet different. Like it rides very Raptor-like. It's floaty when you push on the brake. You definitely get that nose down attitude. There is a lot of wafting, especially off-road. So it's cushy. So I do think the F-150 Raptor is certainly more insulated because there's no removable top and removable doors. The F-150 is a lot quieter. You still get the massive screen in the F-150 Raptor. I think the interior appointments are nicer in the F-150 Raptor. If I were buying one, I don't know what I would go with, actually. That's great. I have not thought through that one.
Yeah.
You are
'Cause,
buying
Bronco
one.
Raptor,
See, I had 3 people text me, be like, today, they're like, what's the update on your Bronco Raptor? I'm like, it's just so funny because people that know I have one coming seem to be more concerned with it than I
I think
am.
I probably know more about it than
I
you
know,
do.
yeah. So it is coming. I guess I just wanted your answer, guys. No, but actually getting to drive one was incredible. Driving it on road, it drives better than any Jeep I've driven, Wrangler, Gladiator Rubicon,
What about
Wrangler
another Bronco?
Sahara. I think it's way more fun than a regular Bronco. The engine, while it's not the 3.5 and it's not the V8, which I said in my video, it's peppier. I think it sounds better. I would say that you can hear it more. Like you can't, if you
it'll
rip these,
pop. If
it
you
will.
give it enough.
Yeah.
Give it enough rows.
The one thing that I don't know if it was in the video, but I wanted to say was the intercooler fan, the radiator fan is really loud. Like driving
hear
it
it doing its job.
on the road, not even off road.
Means it's working.
I pulled up to a stoplight and I was like, "Holy cow!"
Yeah.
Now, granted, the ambient temperature in Palm Springs is like 913 degrees, but still, it wasn't like I was ripping it off road, and then it was cooling itself. It was like I just went to get coffee and went around the block a few times, and it's like, so that's one thing to note. The digital gauge cluster I enjoyed way more than I thought I would. It is a massive, massive improvement over the base Bronco program. And I hope and pray that they bring that to regular Bronco because it is such a massive improvement. It gives you so much information when you're rock crawling, which we did a lot of. This is also funny. People in the comments are like, wow, it's nice to see Jordan off-roading. I didn't know he could do that. Yeah, surprisingly, don't let the appearance fool you.
Jordan has never off-roaded.
I've never
Yeah.
off-roaded in my life.
Matt might have never done
Yeah.
it before,
We
which
can-
is an internal team joke.
It
Matt
is.
has off-road.
Now I am.
Yeah, Matt did off-rodeo yesterday.
I think I've
so
been
he's
to.
a pro.
I think I've
we got him
off-roaded
some
it.
seat time.
No,
I've been to every off-rodeo and driven off-road. So
I've been doing dirt bikes and four-wheelers and stuff since I was, could drive. So no, I have plenty of time in the dirt. But this was the most intense rock crawling I've done. We did Her Problem in
Really?
Johnson Valley, which is
what is
If
her
you-
problem?
Like that's on
It's
the
a-
King
it's a
of the
problem.
Hammers
It is.
4,400 course.
yes, and
Like,
so
they go over that.
Yeah,
Right.
and so you'll see like there was professional spotters. There's no way I could have gotten up it without spotters because you can't. And it just
They
ate
come
it up.
down it though, or at least this year.
this
The
time we
race
went up
course
it.
was going down.
And so there's footage, a
Yeah.
lot of footage in my review of us doing that, and it's like you can go from comfortable driving on the highway to 90 miles an hour in the desert, jumping it, to doing that, and then drive home and still be very comfortable with bolstered Alcantara seats. And you're like, dang. Yes, it's pricey, but what you're getting for 80 grand or 69,995 is a
Whatever you end up getting it
lot.
for.
Is a lot.
Did you feel confident in what you were doing, or was it
Also,
Like,
if you
walk
guys
us
have any
through that.
questions surrounding this, put them in the comments so we can start compiling them. I did feel confident in most of it. Certainly when we got to her problem, it was like, I'm going to do that. But the spotters, the people who did it, were wonderful and walked me right up it again. You can see it in the video. But the vehicle feels very sure-footed. That increased track width definitely helps, especially around corners. And you can feel a noticeable difference with that live valve technology and the shocks. Like the body roll on road is way less than I anticipated. Like you're not wandering all around. We were going up, up a mountain pass and down a mountain pass and curvy roads, something you'd take like a 911 on. Yeah. And you're like, why are you having us do this in a freaking 6,000 pound?
They're making
brick?
Adjustments some stupid amount of time.
It's once every millisecond, I believe.
Yeah.
So it was great. Huge thank you to Ford for letting us do it. Driving, if you know me, you know that like driving fast is my thing.
Don't get in the backseat of a sport with them.
Driving fast in the desert is even more my thing.
Yeah.
And this vehicle allowed me to go faster, and I'll leave it at that. Faster than I have ever gone in another vehicle off-road. And Johnson Valley was a perfect place to show off its capability. So if you have one coming, lucky you. I know people say, I heard another comment the other day saying like, oh, these are taking away, how dare they build these instead of our Broncos? These are all going to existing order holders like many of you.
Not all. Close.
Many. Yeah, many. Like many of you, I'm a day one, hour one reservation holder. We're making merch that says day one, hour one. And I'm still waiting on it. So it, I didn't take one of your guys' orders. It's just I ordered one and then I converted to that. So that's just a myth I'm going to dispel out there. But yeah, that's about it. Again, if you guys have any questions on any of what we just talked or anything else in the Bronco world, you can drop them in the comment section there on the right-hand side of your screen. F-150 Lightning.
Mm-hmm.
I know we're not Lightning Nation. We're not F-150
Tell us about
Nation. But we figured we would mix it up. Take a break.
It wasn't
from
much of a
Bronco.
segue.
Yeah. It's hard to segue from massive desert off-roader to silent pickup truck. Like
Raptor and Lightning.
Yeah.
About that new electric pickup
They
truck.
both have 4 wheels and a steering wheel and a blue oval, and that's about it. And they both weigh a crap ton. We figured we'd take a Bronco. As much as we love Bronco and as much as you guys love Bronco, it's okay to, have some space from Bronco. So one of our friends up in Utah took delivery of the first Lightning in Utah. And was like, hey guys, I'm going to turn this into an Overland Lightning. Do you guys want to film it? We're like, heck yeah, we do. So we have a full build. We're not quite sure if it's a series yet, but it's at least a video of upfitting a F-150 Lightning Lariat. So it's got the long range battery, 4-wheel drive, all that stuff. So it's being, well, I won't give too much of it away. It's very, very cool. It looks sick. And so we're going to give you guys a whole video on that. If that's content you love, let us know and we'll do more of it. If you're like, this is repulsive, please go back to Bronco. Also let us know, and we will take that feedback accordingly. But any questions on the Lightning from the panel or the audience?
Do we think that having the Lightning and sort of going electric is going to be something that moves into the Bronco space?
There's no doubt. I mean, Jeep has the 4xe or 4xe or whatever the heck they call it. There's no doubt with the way that Ford's going with this whole new Ford Model E shindig that electric is the future, whether you all like it or not. That's the way things are going. So could we see a full electric Bronco in the future? 100%. It may be 45 years down the road, but I'm sure that's where we're going to end up. We already see that in the racing space a little bit with like the Audi RS e-tron thing, Desert Dakar.
I was really hoping to see hybrid first, like just
I'm
because
sure we
of the
will.
range,
Yeah.
the range thing with Bronco, like
The jump
doing
from,
long range adventure travel, like it's.
I don't think we're going
Right.
to take
It has
Ford
some
will take a
caveats
full
with
jump
it,
from
but-
ICE to fully electric Bronco.
Yeah.
Like they didn't do that with F-150. They went from, they did a hybrid, or was it even it was kind of like a mild hybrid. The
Yeah, they did a
diesel,
hybrid, I
yeah.
I think, yeah.
And then to the Lightning, and obviously that's a much higher volume vehicle than Bronco is.
Yeah.
So is there, a scenario in the future where we see a fully electric Bronco? I'm sure it'll probably come to the Bronco Sport first.
But
Probably will,
Yeah.
because I'm sure Ford will build like a platform, an electric. And this is all speculation. This is not any knowledge
We
that I
don't
have
have any
firsthand.
insider
This is just
I wish we did, but
yeah. I'm sure they'll build a platform and
But a
build a
Bronco
bunch
with
of
the
cars
new
on it.
crate engine, the new electric crate engine.
The Illuminator
Yeah.
crate
would
engine,
be
the
interesting.
electric one. Who knows? Maybe we'll do something with that. But
I
what
think
about you
it-
guys? Do you want to see an electric Bronco?
you bring up a good point about the whole overlanding thing of like, going off the grid, but having limited range, and I don't know, maybe solar's the
Because
answer for that. But
I know there are plenty of situations in off-roading where you need just a ton of horsepower.
Right.
But for the vast majority of what I think most people do, like I would trade some horsepower for more range.
yeah,
That's me. That's the kind of stuff that I have planned and would want to do. But that's why I was more interested in hybrid than a fully electric Bronco first. But
yeah,
we'll see what they do. I think the writing's on the wall.
What I find interesting, and this is just, causation or correlation does not equal causation. A lot of hotels in Moab are installing electric car chargers. So it would be really cool to show up, charge your car, be able to do Hell's Revenge all day long on one battery, and then come back and charge it up. And I know with the way gas prices are, I'm sure most of you wouldn't hate that either. But that's a possibility. Johnson Valley is
It'd get really
a full set
quiet.
of
It would
electric
get really
chargers.
quiet in Moab.
yeah.
I don't think that. Oh, can we do electric side by sides, please? Like, it ain't the 4x4 vehicles that are an issue.
Yeah.
A silent King of the Hammers. That would be something
that'd be
to.
unheard of.
Have you ever seen
weird.
Formula
Yeah.
E
Yeah.
and heard those things? It's weird.
Kind of whiny.
Bizarre.
Yeah.
Then you could just lay out solar panels and charge your vehicle if you
Is that enough? Like, does
No,
that
like you'd have to have
you have
years
to have
later,
a ton,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
yeah.
that's coming along.
And they're heavy. The issue is weight. I mean, battery.
Yeah.
I mean, the Lightning, 8,500 pounds. Like,
Yeah.
that's.
that's a heavy duty for day to day.
I thought the Hummer was heavy at 10 grand, which it is. I just, for some reason in my mind, didn't think
How
it
do
was
they?
that heavy. It's
Yeah.
like,
My question would be,
commercial
how do you
vehicle.
deliver those? Like you see these semis full of Broncos. Can you do a semi full of 8,500 pound flipping Lightnings? I'm sure you
question.
can.
I guess what's the
I'm sure
difference
they
with
can.
full? It'll probably have 3
Yeah.
in their capacity.
Seems like it would be very different driving that. than Something else.
Well,
But
Ford has sure been advertising Lightning deliveries on Twitter, so looks like many of you all are getting them.
I'm sure they get mixed with regular F-150s too.
Yeah.
Do they though?
Right.
Okay.
right.
Any other comments from
No.
the panel on any of that?
No.
Thoughts? Okay. Well,
Good.
we will turn it over to audience questions then, community questions. We will go back and read through the ones that you guys have already asked, and then of course if you have anything, no question. Well, I shouldn't say no questions off limits. Keep it respectful, keep it appropriate, and car related whenever possible. So first, how is off-roading in New Hampshire?
It's
We've been here
green.
the last 2 days.
I've seen a lot of
so green.
turkeys. There's wildlife.
That's
Um,
probably something up there right now.
Yeah, I
Is
don't
that
know.
giant beaver.
No, it's nice. You get a good combination of rock and trees, and if you like
It was
that
more
landscape,
technical than I expected.
Yep.
yeah,
100%.
Yeah.
There were definitely some.
And it's not
You
hot.
you get great views too. We're at 2,200 feet, I believe, and you can see the lake, and it's gorgeous. So if you like the views, it's obviously a place to go and experience that. If you like the tree views, you don't see much more than trees, honestly.
Yeah.
But you do get to try out a lot with the Bronco, and that's good.
It would definitely be a cool experience for folks. Like if you've spent most of your life out west, you haven't been east of the Mississippi very much, like it would be a very different landscape for you.
Yeah, and I think like I've grown up in the East,
Yeah.
and my interpretation was like, people go out west for all the real off-roading, and like it seems like most of the stuff we do now is out west. I'm like, oh, that's the whole culture's out there. But I think it's surprising to me to come here to New Hampshire and see like these are real trails. Like I was impressed at how difficult and like legitimate the whole off-roading experience has been.
Yeah. Because you always heard about it from like the guys in Broncos of the Northeast, Bones. Shout out to that Bronco club.
They're
It's
great.
great up here. And they'd always talk about it, but it was always kind of hard to really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Next question. Well, it's not a question, it's more of a statement, but we could comment on it. Someone saying, come to Supercell West, and there'll be plenty of trails to drive and guides to help. Are we going to Super Celebration West?
100%.
Base
It's my
camp.
favorite. It's my favorite event all year.
So for the events the rest of the year, besides PNW and Wisconsin, we have Woodward, we have Overland Expo Mountain West, and Supercell
It's going to
West,
be a grueling 4 weeks.
and Overland Expo East. I saw somebody else comment about that. So if you can't make it out west, we'll be back out east. But yeah, to Matt's point about this, I live out west and I absolutely love it. But landing here, I was like, oh, it's nice to see a lot of
There's
trees,
trees.
and greenery for once.
What a flex.
So it is. Yeah, sorry.
We've got
I live out
trees.
west.
Can you
So-
bring your spouse to an off rodeo?
You can.
Or a fee.
Or
There's a guest fee.
You will have more fun.
but it's more fun.
And you can bring children above 12.
Yep. And they can drive if they're 18.
The children can't drive.
Yeah. If their children are above the age of 18. they
Yeah,
can
unless they're
drive.
old enough. But
Yeah.
It is much more fun with someone. A lot of people come and either their partner didn't think they'd like that and they end up loving it,
Yeah.
and suddenly you've lost your Bronco because they're taking it over once you take delivery or you get home. Or it's just you come alone and then you miss telling them all about it,
Yeah.
in more vivid pictures.
when we were in Texas, we were what's the big Texas two-step? Is that
Texas
the name of
two-step,
it? There was
yep.
this lady who had come with her husband, and she was like, "I'm not doing that. There's no way I'm getting behind the wheel."
Is an obstacle.
It is, yes, it is an
obstacle.
obstacle.
Go
Not a
over.
dance.
It is not a dance. Well, I guess it is. but,
Yeah.
it's a very steep obstacle, a steep climb, and this guy's wife did it, and she was like, I had no idea I could do that. And I think that's the whole point, is like getting you behind the wheel and having you say, I had no idea I could do that.
Yep.
And so if you haven't been to off rodeo and you have the opportunity to, I would definitely recommend it.
Another thing, I think I mentioned it, but we're going to, if you want something in the north, we are going to Bronco Super Celebration, Wisconsin, July 6th through 9th. So not a base camp, but I think it's the first year they're doing that. And I know they have a ton of great
Yeah,
stuff
it's the
planned.
first
So
year
Bronco
they're doing
Nation will be there. We'll be at 2 events simultaneously. If you missed that at the beginning, so come by to either of those and say hi to the team. We'd love to.
Yeah, those are very family friendly.
You guys. Somebody said, when will Ford share model year 23 info with you? Order banks open back in a little over a month. Would like to know what's available if we don't get scheduled tomorrow. Do we have an answer to that question?
No, but it's coming. We don't have specifics on it that we can share at this point. But as soon as we know and we can say, we'll tell you guys.
Yeah, I can't imagine a lot's gonna change.
I know of one change.
Oh, yeah, Laura. Well, okay.
Laura
It's going to
knows-
have a
Laura knows one
23 at the
change.
end of it. So
You dug yourself out of that hole real
That's
quick.
the easy answer.
I reserved my spot at the Nevada Off Rodeo. Are there different Bronco models to choose from?
Most of the sites have an array of
Yeah.
trims that
Yeah.
are there. I think just about all of them will be either Sasquatch package or Badlands on the 33s.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
If it's not
they're all
Badlands,
capable
it's
Broncos.
Sasquatch.
Yeah.
And if they
No
know
first
your
editions though. There's not first editions,
right,
Because I'm sure
we're
someone will
not
ask.
taking the first editions. But
Yeah.
if they know your vehicle, I think what I've heard is that they'll try to match you up with one
You
that's
can
your
ask,
trim level.
yeah.
Yeah, you can ask, and so that's if you're interested in that, then you can raise
People
the
fight
question.
over the 2 doors.
Oh yeah,
And I
A ton of
don't think there's
2 doors.
any more manuals. I think that was an experiment at the
no
beginning.
no
and
manuals.
a few too many people said they could drive manuals and they couldn't. So all automatics. I think mostly, to my knowledge,
A lot of what?
automatics.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
it's
there's
all-
no manuals.
Yep.
Because they do. I mean, to show off so that people know like how to use trail control, how to use a lot of those features that are automatic only.
Any production updates or news on the Everglades?
They're
Media
gonna-
drive's going on this week.
They're gonna build them.
Yeah, so they are doing like they did the Bronco Raptor media drive a couple weeks ago. They're doing the Bronco Everglades media drive, which, as the name implies, is where the media comes in and gets to test it out, review it, all that stuff. So if you've been following any of the Ford personnel, specifically Mike Levine on Twitter, or any of the auto journalists who are there, I'm sure you're seeing tons of waders and mud and water and mud and water and waders. So they are
What was that last one again?
waders,
And the other one?
water and mud.
That's right.
Yeah. So that's what they're doing right now. So that's the latest we have. We do have a new contributor to the Bronco Nation up there reviewing the Everglades for us. So she will have content coming soon for you all to read and to react to, which is pretty exciting. But it looks fun. Looks fun.
Do we know?
Looks like a Bronco with a winch.
It does.
And a snorkel.
But do we know when like production is going to happen, or do we have any information?
Ford
on that?
said summer. There's been delays, I've heard, on color. And I think that's been pretty
I haven't seen
consistent
any
in the
sitting out
forums.
in the many holding lots.
No.
I haven't
around
seen
here.
photos.
We're on the swamp. We're buried. Sorry, that was
Yeah.
funny. For High For Low, sorry I missed your question. He said, when will more dates open up for the month of September for Moab and Vegas? I don't know that we have the answer to that
Should
question.
be a number on the site that you can call.
Yeah, Bronco Off Rodeo, there's a number on the website. You can give it a call during normal business hours, and I'm sure someone will be happy to answer your question for you. It doesn't ring any of our phones, if that was your next question. It's not it.
Straight to Jordan.
Yeah.
Can we video at Off Rodeo with a GoPro? Sure.
I'm not sure what the policy is on that. You can always ask, bring it along.
They do have photography
You do
packages
have
you
to
can
have,
buy.
obviously, full hands on the wheel. I think if you have the mounting hardware, it might be worth asking, but I'm not sure what the policy is.
Lots of people
don't know.
video,
I think
but I
so.
don't know what the official
Yeah,
policy
I don't
is,
think
but
they're-
people are videoing, so.
I mean, people video, but yeah, putting
I
in a
don't think it's
GoPro.
against policy.
Yeah.
Not that I've heard.
Yeah.
Yeah, what were you gonna say?
I was just say just use your mounting rail if you have one.
Yeah,
for the Bronco.
little phone mounts are great. Suction cups for GoPros, or a buddy if you bring a buddy or a spouse or a friend or partner, whatever. Yeah. What is next? When can or will people who have already been to a off-rodeo attend another off-rodeo at a different location? I think we touched on this, but people may have just
It's a big
joined.
question.
It was a big question. I don't know if we know.
We have nothing to share.
We have nothing to share.
But watch Bronco Nation because
Yeah.
we did the Broncos and Barbecue meetup at Texas.
Yep,
And even though we
true.
didn't get to drive, which is obviously fun, we're fun to hang out with. And we might be doing more of those. Obviously, they're doing the women's one, but that does count as your token in Texas. But
And you do have to be
you never know where we're going to show up next.
just full of surprises here.
And
at
it
the old-
may be an
at
off
the old nation.
rodeo, and you may come and get to see what you saw before
Yeah.
or for the first time.
I think there was a Sasquatch sighting at that barbecue in
It
Texas
was.
too.
I've been waiting.
Waiting.
I know.
Here.
we're
Hoping.
hoping.
The question is, should we do more of these things at off rodeos with an actual audience of guests?
Live studio audience.
My brain says yes. My anxiety says maybe not. No, but it would
Jordan
be
gets really nervous
it would-
before these.
Yeah, I do. It would be really cool to do like a live audience Q&A. It'd require a few more cameras, but it would be cool to have like a
Yeah.
All I'm picturing is the price is right, and you calling someone down.
like an auction with their little paddle numbers.
Yeah.
Number
Right.
23.
We'd throw T-shirts.
Yeah.
Back
That
to
could
the
be
question.
Really
there.
exciting.
I don't know if we have an answer
Yeah.
to answer the question.
But we are looking at doing more, not only of this live broadcast. As you can see, this one's a little bit better put together than our previous ones, which all credit goes to David on that.
Yeah.
A little easier to discuss.
We'll see when we watch it back.
Yeah.
Let's hold judgment.
Yes. But we might do these at off rodeo. We might do more barbecues, meetups, whatever at off rodeos or other places. If you guys have locations, you can let us know via DM or email. You're not afraid there. So that's that. Next question: will they have an Everglades? Will there be a Everglades at off rodeo? I don't know.
Highly doubt it.
Yeah, I would doubt
Texas is the one with the most water features. There's obviously water here at New Hampshire when there's been heavy rains, but none of the water at Texas right now is deep enough to really utilize that. So
You gotta
it'll be
have
interesting
a
to see.
lot of water to show off. The
Yeah, I
capability.
mean it's 3 inches deeper than a typical Bronco in fording, and it does make a difference. It does make a difference.
Yes, it does. If you have any other questions, make sure to drop them in the super chat on the right side. Do we know when model year 22? When does model year 22 end and model year 23 begin? Do we have
That's
a
a
date
really
for a
good question.
changeover?
Typically with Ford, you see something in the
Q4 range.
early Q4 or late Q3.
Bronco was weird.
Last year they
Sometimes it's
went
August
so long.
and
Yeah.
that sort of thing. Last year was
It was
an
a
oddity.
weird year.
So not sure.
But I would look out for that sometime in probably September, October if I had to guess. I know order banks reopen in August. Yeah, so if you guys didn't get to place an order and you want to do that, you'll be able to do that in August. So I have to imagine information in the order guide will be coming out in the next
Soon.
month, I would say.
Yeah, soon.
That's what
Or
the
you're so
cadence would
suspicious.
probably be.
I
And
just-
like that's all.
it just
that's
makes
all
sense.
based off
Like-
of
Soon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
look at the calendar. We're
Yeah.
here in July.
Yeah.
Wait, no, we're in June.
We're
I didn't know where
It's
it
all
was
mixed
when I
up.
woke up this morning.
It's been a summer, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all just going off of, their schedules for
Yeah.
these things.
I would
Ford
love
does
to
it for
see.
a whole bunch of different vehicles across the year. They have habits.
I would love to see more cup holders. I would love to. Yeah, what would you guys? Here, that's a good question. What would you guys like to see for model year 23? Again, this is all speculation, not grounded in any reality, but that we know of.
And let us know in the chat what you would
What
like
you
to
would
see.
like to see. David, we'll start with you.
There's,
Top two.
There's one spot that I wish would have one more bash plate underneath the transmission cross member. I wish that was more common.
Yeah.
It is in Raptor.
Yeah, everything's in there. Laura?
I think it's perfect. I do feel.
Oh, please.
I do feel like the
She knows how
steering
to sell a
wheel
vehicle.
is thick for my hands. So when you're driving 12 hours straight from New Hampshire to Michigan, you get a little fatigued, but whatever.
Laura's really easy to please if you get you.
I am. I have.
There's nothing you would change? No. Okay.
It gets me where I need to go and does what it needs to. You know the vehicles I drive. I have an '89 XJ and a 2000, and one is a swamp in the driver's floor pan, and I'm still okay with it. Like I'm easy to please.
Really close to buying Bronco.
I am close to buying a Bronco.
Yeah,
We'll
we've
just see.
Almost got her over the.
You'll get there.
I mean, I want a Bronco, but yeah,
It's a big purchase.
It is.
Something that should be done responsibly.
and they're hard to get.
Yeah.
So
Matt.
I think I agree with cup holders. I think there's been a lot of times where I've been in a Bronco on a trip, plenty more times than I would like, where I'm doing a long drive in a Bronco, and I'm just like, man, I've got this coffee cup, I've got my water bottle, and it's
Another
like
coffee cup.
no more storage.
Third
Yeah,
coffee
I would like the coffee holders to be bigger because if you have
Yeah.
if you have something like a Bronco Nation Nalgene bottle available,
10%
don't
off remembers.
they don't fit.
yeah.
Very little fits in those cup holders. Like if you do not have our 20-ounce 80 Rambler and available in black and stainless steel in the Bronco, well, no, it's sold out right now.
And when I was
But-
in a different make and model a couple weeks ago in Oregon, I took out an insert and
Yep.
it was perfectly sized.
Yep. I have another make
Yep.
and model that can fit a full-size hydro flask.
discovered
So
that.
yeah.
You guys are kind of annoying.
Yeah,
Like,
we are. We're very picky. But if you, well, not that you all have been on Bronco Nation team trips. I was gonna say if you know, but you don't. We drink copious amounts of coffee.
And there's a lot of
we'll
us
have
in
like
a
18
vehicle.
coffee cups
That's
in
how
the
we do
it
car,
all.
wedged in every crevice possible. So Bronco is slightly limiting. So yours is cup holders.
But I think, yeah, and I think us being picky about little things probably says a lot about
Yeah.
Bronco. Like,
Yeah.
there's not a lot of things I would change, which is a good thing. So,
That is a good thing.
yeah.
I would do cup holders for sure. I've harped on that since day one.
colors.
Colors. That was gonna
I
be my
would
next thing.
like
I would
more
love to see
colors
some.
Haas 3.0 on Badlands.
Yeah.
than Badlands.
Whoa now. Whoa now. Then what's the point of Wild Track?
That's a
Good question.
Glad we agree on that.
Colors would be great. Interior choices would be great. Digital gauge cluster would be great. Rear AC vents would be great.
Rear AC.
Somebody said move the passenger grab handle closer. That's unique. Good one.
Yeah, the grab handles don't really get
Figure
you
out
up
something
and,
on the sport
and
tubes as well.
Yeah. And the analog speedometer, like I never look at it.
I forget
Like,
it's
I don't
there.
have-
That's a nitpick, folks.
Yeah. No, but it's again to Matt's point, like it's an indication of.
That's
a
because you
very-
go the
Yeah, yeah,
speed
yeah,
you
yeah.
want to
Well,
go.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't need
It's
a
just-
speedometer.
You're not checking it.
And then there's questions about like the door bags that don't. The door bags
Yeah.
disappeared.
Well,
The ones that mount in the cargo area.
you have to. Well, and there's the ones that you have to get when you're ordering. Otherwise, you don't get the chance to
that,
get
yeah.
them, and that's annoying for the people who missed out on that. And so
I
because
think that's about
Yeah.
it for wants or extra.
have you
needs.
guys ever
Beefier tie
stored
rods.
your doors?
Oh, I
on
want new
board?
wheel options.
Wheel
wanna see something
options.
new
That's a
and
good
exciting.
Yeah, the Everglades
I-
wheels are great.
I would
They
love
are.
to see the
I love
Everglades
those.
wheels.
Something similar
Yeah.
to the Everglades. I mean, it's
I
important
wish
for
there
those
was
to
a
stay
company out
special
there
to
who
the
made
Everglades.
some
but
phenomenal
something
wheels
in
that Bronco Nation
that
would
style.
partnership. Wouldn't that be nice?
That would be nice.
That would be nice if members got a discount at a really
Watch
awesome wheel
this
company.
space.
There's hints around the nation if you look closely.
see.
Yeah. We also have a new build, Bronco Nation build, debuting very soon.
Can you
And it'll
give
be-
us any hints?
Do we have the name? Can we say the name?
That's internal. That's confidential. It's embargoed. The name is embargoed. Sorry, guys. It will be on display at Overland Expo Pacific Northwest. I'm very excited about it. I'm half nervous and half very excited. I'm worried that's going to be a lot. But GPW is the hint.
GPW.
GPW.
Might as well just give it all away, man.
No, hey, that could mean a myriad of things. Someone said I love the Bronco Raptor wheels. I agree. They look great.
Yeah. Those
Which
are-
ones?
Which ones? EB 2700.
The forged ones? Or the...
Who's red?
Who's
Bronco?
Red Broncos behind you? There's no Red Bronco behind me.
Oh, they're driving.
Can they see?
I think we've been photobombed.
Where is it? There
Could
it
that
is.
be the Sasquatch?
What?
Yeah, I don't know.
Hey, Red Bronco behind us.
There's also a
Do a
velocity,
trick. Do a flip.
the velocity blue Bronco. You
Donut
can barely
mode.
see right there.
Yeah. With the kayaks on top.
Yeah.
Perched. Yeah. Any other questions?
Any other questions? Yeah.
Or comments? This has been fun.
We've gone over our typical...
Almost an hour,
Yeah.
which is good.
Chit chatty.
I know.
We'll
Well,
have
it's
to
nice
talk
to
about
see you all. We have not seen each other in 2 years. Can you guys believe that? I'm
2
kidding.
weeks.
I'm kidding. I know. I'm
been a
kidding.
long
We've
time.
all. This is just our first
I'm
broadcast.
clearing
together.
logging trails
Yeah,
with
yeah.
Jordan 2 weeks ago.
David.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
And
do
fell
it all.
over.
We won't get. I wasn't
You can
gonna
tell the
say it.
story. You can tell the story.
So this is really entertaining, and David's being a good sport.
Not really on a podcast, but go ahead.
We don't have to tell the story.
No. I'm
Okay.
saying.
So we were clearing logging routes. Perfect for the Phil.
We were scouting for
We were scouting for
excursions.
you all.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of logs, and David went down to. There was like a log across the road. There was
Jordan
a
was
branch
driving our
sticking
rental.
out. I was. And he
Don't
went to-
tell the rental agency.
And he pulled on like a little branch sticking out. And that branch sure did break loose, and David's entire body lifted from terra firma. And man, I watched it. It was like slow motion. It was graceful.
I lost a battle with a tree branch and promptly lost a battle with a lava rock
Oh,
real quick.
It's
That's,
okay.
we do it all for you.
This is what we do. Yeah,
We do it all for
Blood,
y'all.
sweat, and tears, guys. Somebody said any word on whether a Bronco Raptor specific off rodeo will happen.
I mean,
Anything. is
Ford
possible.
hinted at stuff.
I think Esteban said something.
He
He
did
said,
say stuff.
"Stay tuned." So
He
Watch this
did.
space.
stay tuned.
stay tuned.
It's not a denial.
We miss Esteban.
We did miss this.
Yep.
Yeah.
Esteban's still with, like, he's
Yeah.
alive.
He did not die.
Yeah.
We have a new brand manager on Bronco.
Is
So
the red Bronco stuck? No, they moved. Where'd they
Are
go?
they?
Somewhere.
They drove down the hill.
Yep. Forged wheel style 2. That's the Raptor wheel that
Yeah,
EB 2700 really likes.
I do like that one.
Okay, well, we want to thank all of our members specifically for joining us. You guys are what make this possible. We couldn't do it without you. And even if you're not a member, that is totally okay. We would love for you to become one by going over to thebronconation.com/join us. Every month, literally, we are adding member perks. We have a slew of member benefits, and we have more to come. You can get discounts as a member at Rockside Engineering on any of their Bronco parts, at 4L Parts on any of their 4L Parts Factory Bronco parts, at GRT Off-Road, any of their Bronco parts, and lots more coming soon. So stay tuned. We're announcing new partners. Stay tuned and hope to see you in the coming weeks. We're going to go now. Goodbye, guys.
See you, everybody.